In today's video, we're going to be having a conversation about Pokemon products. It's been drying up quite a bit. What's available when we look at distributors pages and how the market is just doing overall. But before we jump into it, as always, we do weekly giveaways. All you have to do to enter is leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Of course, hit the notification bell as well as stay up to date on all things when it comes to PokemartUSA related content. And lastly, if you want to join the amazing community that we have, check our Discord, link is down in the description below. But alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, now I've been gone for a week. I apologize for those of you guys that didn't know. I had come down with a little bit of a sick bug, so I am just now finally recovering. Took a full week off. It was weird, man, because I never, ever take time off from work. So it was kind of stressful not working for once. But it was one of those things where I just physically couldn't because of how exhausted I was. So I'm definitely glad to be back. But I just want to apologize for taking time off for those of you guys that were anxiously awaiting for me to finally post a video. But yeah, well, while I was gone, nothing happened whatsoever except for product just continuously dwindling on the overall market. So we're going to go through a couple of things and just kind of check and see what the heck is going on. So first things first, I won't show you guys the individual page, but I have on another screen separately all of the pages to my distributors pulled up and the product they currently have available for purchase. So of those 4 distributors that I have, one of them has literally not a single product listed. They officially ran out of stock of Pokemon product, I want to say about a couple weeks ago. Really, what did they have left? Like battle decks or like, League battle decks or Pokemon Go battle decks. So it wasn't really anything crazy they had left to begin with. They consistently are coming in and out of stock of product every so often. But if you go to their website, it's official. Of course, you have to, have distributor access, but they're just out of product entirely. I've got another distributors page that is also out of product entirely. Another distributors page that basically has trainer toolkits and build and battles, whether it be stadiums or just standard decks. And then lastly, for my 4th distributor, they have some product left. Pokemon Go Elite Trainer boxes, Pokemon Go products, some UPCs, Lucario V-Star, but nothing really crazy. I mean, hidden potential tins, but this is the wave 2, so it doesn't come with Evolving Skies. So more or less, most distributors are entirely out of product, or ancillary products, I should say, except for just a couple of very much so low demand items. Now, granted, there is, like I said before, product occasionally coming in and out of stock. Recently, we just had a tiny, not a large, a tiny resupply of Silver Tempest and Lost Origin booster boxes, but this is not a reprint. Please understand this. This is a resupply that has come. So quite interestingly enough, obviously, when talking about time frames, I did discuss with you guys per my sources that there was going to be some booster boxes to come sometime near the end of February, early March. Does this line up with that timeline? Kind of. I mean, it's a little bit earlier than what that time frame really was, like maybe a couple days to a week. I mean, not really. It kind of lines up perfectly, but we were hoping for a reprint, not a resupply, right? Especially too when it's like, all right, Eli, here's your 1 case of booster boxes. That's all you get. So it's not like a crazy amount of product. So it's just the Pokemon company being like, oh, look, we noticed that you guys all have literally no booster boxes to sell. Here's a couple that we're going to give to you. And to know if it is a reprint or not, there's typically 2 tells with that. One, usually it's an allocated item that you have to put in pre-order numbers for. We did not put in pre-order numbers for that. It was just something that said, here's what we have, here's what you can take. And then 2, some distributors will have a large amount of them that they will just list thereafter it's been put up for pre-order, or if you've been allocated out. Neither of those things have happened. So, ultimately at the end of the day, you go to distributors pages, it's just basically dry. Outside of every so often, there is a more or less, resupply product that the Pokemon company just sends out to us to basically say, hey, we notice you guys have literally 0 product. We're going to try and give you a little bit of what we have, whether it be just printed product that they have off to the side, or they just basically have been sitting it in their back warehouse, however the Pokemon company likes to do it. But And that is the current status when it comes to distribution. Now let's go and take a look at the market and what the market has done. First thing we got to take a look at, everyone's favorite, as always, is Evolving Skies. So what is Evolving Skies doing? Last time I checked like a week ago, it was at around 360. So it is, I mean, obviously you've got Burning Tree games right here, but if you take them out of the loop and you look at all of these new accounts that are being formed and you look at the actual like established accounts, you have Show Pony Investments for $375. So it looks like it's gone up roughly around another, 5% in the past week or so since we last looked. So Evolving Skies, just continuing to do Evolving Skies things. Scarlet and Violet booster box prices actually have gone down. I remember seeing them on pre-order for around 150, so they've gone down quite a bit. And it's not just market manipulation. Obviously, you look at this is just market manipulation. But when you look at the actual prices, they are around that 123 price point. So they have gone down quite a bit. Elite Trainer boxes for Scarlet and Violet have also just been going down. So quite interesting to see. And to be quite frank with you, if there's anything you take away from this video in terms of, everyone always wants me to give my financial opinion outside of just what's going on in the market. Honestly, at this point, the play is kind of just new. Like, that's it. Like, everyone always is looking to what's the best opportunity for booster boxes, ETBs, et cetera, et cetera. But outside of the UPC, if you're really looking at opportunities, it's always the newest sets because they're the cheapest. And for some odd reason, most people don't really realize that until later. Like with the Crown Zenith, when I was discussing with you guys about that, when you could buy the ETBs for $41, $42, and no one was picking them up, and now they're $65, and now everyone wants them, and you can still find them in Walmarts, but for those people that wanted to pick it up well below MSRP, it's like you kind of missed the boat on that, right? And with Crown Zenith product, obviously, as mentioned before, Crown Zenith was sitting at, for a while now, you had a lot of places selling it for 105, 110. I have no clue what the secondary market kind of looks like with that, but obviously you're seeing it where TCG player prices are going down, so I would like to presume that there's still some opportunities out there when it comes to looking at prices for it. And it wouldn't surprise me, kind of like with Crown Zenith, that once the set gets released, as long as there hasn't been any sort of real booster box reprint or product reprint, that the price will just kind of get, eaten up and then just continue to climb. So just another opportunity to kind of pick up product early when it's cheap elsewhere and then just kind of do a flip like what we've been doing for the past couple months, in all honesty. But taking a look at outside of just Scarlet and Violet and Evolving, just looking at the remaining booster boxes, what do we have to see? Lost Origin reaching 140. Silver Tempest also close to 140. Silver Tempest is going to surpass more than likely Lost Origin. It's pacing it quite well. As mentioned before, this does not surprise me. If you look at the price per pack for Lost Origin versus Silver Tempest, aka you go buy loose pack prices for Lost Origin are around $3.40 versus Silver Tempest. They're a little bit over $4 now. So the price per pack is much more expensive when you look at it in comparison for single pack value. Not to mention too, as I've said this many times before, I will continue to say this again. Yes, I do like Lost Origin more as a set to open. I think it's more fun to open Lost Origin than it is for Silver Tempest. However, from an investment perspective, Silver Tempest is going to perform better because of the Lugia. It's just history repeating itself once again. This does not surprise me. Lost Origin, the only reason why I got ahead to begin with the Silver Tempest is because it's the set that's 3 months older than Silver Tempest, so it had a lot more time to mature. But as we've seen, the demand for Silver Tempest is much, much higher as it has continued to just increase in price now that it is finally getting to its maturity point where it's just continuing to climb up. Interesting one for us to take a look at, Astral Radiance. Let's actually click on this just to kind of get a confirmation. $130 for an Astral Radiance booster box. I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, that just kind of makes sense to me that it's $130 now that everything's kind of getting eaten up. Everything's kind of rising at this point, but $130 for Astral just kind of seems wild to really think about. Like, Astral was one of the set for the longest time that was around that $95, that was around that $100 price point, and I mean, here we are, man. 130 is where we are with the booster box price for Astral Radiance. So outside of that, I mean, just chilling, pushing 150, Fusion 135. Brilliant really hasn't done much. Brilliant's kind of just sat there, done the same thing, nothing crazy. Battle Styles at 110 though. So ultimately at the end of the day, you know, we can keep dissecting this, but booster box prices are more or less just continuing to rise, going up, and some of them are performing better than others, obviously. Now let's take a look at just general product when it comes to Crown Zenith. So as we talked about and discussed earlier in the video, prices for the Elite Trainer box are still at that $65 price point. You know, it's more or less gone sideways, slightly up. I mean, in terms of like looking at this from a charting perspective, the expectations that it's more than likely just going to continue to go up from here. Specialty ETB from the Pokemon Center website, 112. I mean, goodness gracious, guys. This is pushing prices of when we heard that Celebrations ETBs were going to go out of stock. Like, that was the price we were getting for these initially. So the margins on these are phenomenal. So once again, shout out to those who were able to get in before it sold out. But, you know, sealed product, kind of just playing the same sealed product game. Here's where it gets, I shouldn't say interesting. This is just kind of what we had a discussion about. But singles, I said this before, I'll say it again. I expect singles to just continuously drop over time as more product continues to get pushed out. We had ETBs, we had the Reggie boxes, now we've got the mini tins, and we also have the Pikachu VMAX boxes. What has happened with the Giratina since then? It has done nothing but absolutely drop, I mean, 20% roughly. So a decent sized drop in terms of the overall value of the Giratina. Obviously being the most expensive card in the set. When we take a look at the Arceus card, Arceus has also had a decent sized drop, roughly around 17%. Mewtwo, obviously, you know, I look at this as potential market manipulation. I'm going to ignore it. We're going to look at the top here, 119 down to 95. This one's retraced roughly around 25%. So just based off of the first three cards that we kind of took a look at, it seems as if a lot of the cards in the Galarian Gallery specifically have dropped roughly around that, anywhere between 15 to 25%. Now, when looking at the other cards outside of the Galarian Gallery and seeing the general prices, it looks as if, let's see, Elisa's dropped 20%. How's the Pikachu? I mean, the Pikachu's just been getting whomped, man. That Pikachu just can't get a break. I mean, technically it's dropped. I mean, goodness gracious. If you're talking about end of the month, January till now, I mean, it's getting brutalized right now, guys. Like, it's gone down another 40%. So, Pikachu is definitely not as scarce as a lot of people thought it was going to be. I mean, that's the only expectation I can say as to why the prices are going down. I mean, the demand seems like people like the card. So, it's quite fascinating to see. Interesting enough, Friends of Sinnoh hasn't really done much. But ultimately, you know, as expected, all these singles are just going down in price. There's just a continuation of singles just going to keep going down. And I said this before, I will say it again. Some people think I'm crazy for saying this. My expectation on the overall price of the Giratina is I do think it's going to get around $100 at some point. Sub 100 is entirely possible. I would say likely, in my personal opinion. However, you know, it wouldn't surprise me either if it did just, you know, hit 105, 110, just kind of sit down there for a while until, if it happens, a large Crown Zenith reprint came and then it broke down to $100. But when you take into the fact of the matter that it's gone down 20% since the new release, and then we've got more product just coming out each and every month, I mean, you just keep going 20% from here over a next 3-month period. I mean, if we're just saying 140, right, times 0.8, next month it could be 112, you know, times 0.8. Next month after that, it could be 89.6. I mean, realistically, I just don't understand why people think it's so unrealistic to see it go sub 100 when you're really considering that there's still quite a bit of Crown Zenith product that is going to be coming out sometime in April and end of May. So, because we have the pink collection that is going to be coming out. That is going to be coming out on the 14th of April. We've got the Morpeko V Union collection that is going to be coming out as well in April. Then we have the Crown Zenith figure premium collections that are also, those are going to be coming out in May. I can't remember if there is going to be something. And yeah, we've got the Pokemon Crown Zenith collection tins coming out in March. So we literally have product each and every month for Crown Zenith coming out for the next 3 months. So it just makes total sense to me that you could just see, in addition, I mean, even if you say, right, if we're saying the average here is around that 15 to 25%, average that to 20, even if you cut that in half, right, and just go off and say, oh yeah, it's only going to be a 10% drop each and every month, right? And we say that happens over the next 3 months. The expectation once again is that the price of this is still going to hit low $100 if the price drops were to literally get cut in half instead of 20% month over month. So just once again trying to make predictions based off of what we know is going to happen for Pokemon Crown Zenith. So with all that being said, make sure you're being extremely patient when it comes to picking up your singles for Crown Zenith, because the prices are just going to keep going down, because as more supply floods the market, it's going to outpace the demand if the demand is kind of at just a stagnation point. Or, who knows, maybe Crown Zenith demand could just absolutely go crazy and outpace the supply. But I highly doubt that, considering these are first waves for a lot of these products and it's just not some ancillary resupply. So, but ultimately, just kind of going through once again, looking at the market, wrapping it up. Distributors pages doesn't really show anything other than the kind of resupplies that happen from time to time, once every other week, I want to say. In terms of what's going on with the market, prices are just continuing to go up. Crown Zenith is just continuing to go down for singles, and Scarlet and Violet is kind of at a good opportunity point if you're picking up some of these booster boxes at that 105 price point, 110 price point, and ETBs if you're getting closer to that 35-ish price point or lower. So still opportunities to be made in the market. Actually, before we wrap this up, one last thing I do actually want to take a look at. Let's see what's going on with the Charizard Ultra Premium Collection. That is an item you guys know I am pretty high on. So if we look at the Ultra Premium Collection and see what the price for that is at, it is at $97. I mean, honestly, guys, still a good price. I've said this before, I'll say it again. This is an item I think will perform extremely well long term. You're still sitting well below that MSRP price point, and for an item that is a Charizard, it's an ultra premium collection. I mean, I think that's kind of a match made in heaven for something that should, in theory, do really well long term, when history has always proven that premium collections, especially those with Charizards, or specifically just Charizard cards and products in general, have just always done extremely well. But that is all for today's video. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. Once again, glad to be back. I will be back to posting regularly Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesdays and Thursdays will be our live stream days, 12:30 Pacific Standard Time. So excited to be back. And as always, you want to enter into our weekly giveaways, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if you want to join the community or support the channel in any way, check out some of the awesome deals we have going on that we're always posting about. Check our Discord, link is down in the description below. But that is all for today's video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Until then, I will see you all on Wednesday. Peace.